this complex process of various types of vibrations, you also are one. If you just become just one more, you are like a grain of sand, nothing. The vastness of this cosmic space, this little body is nothing.
Do you know, there is no explanation for gravity in modern science even today. Isaac Newton only told you apple falls down, which every village boy knew. He gave no explanation, no mathematical background to it. Simply he said it falls down, nothing else. And since then, they have been trying to find out. They know at least enough about other forces. Gravity is one thing which has freaked some modern science. They're not able to find out why gravity works the way it works. So today, one explanation they're talking about is that there is some dark force
Every form has a hidden sound within itself. When I say a hidden sound, the surface sound of an object will come out when you strike it. If you strike a gong, the sound that you hear, the sound that many of you hate because it rings at 4:45 in the morning, that is the surface sound of that object. There will be a hidden sound to the object. If one knows the hidden sound of an object, or a form rather, once you know the hidden sound of a certain form, you find you also know the form, you find a certain access and a certain intimacy to that form. It is based on this that in this culture, we name children like this, feeling the fundamental reverb of a child. Accordingly, a name was given, so that by uttering the name, above all the child constantly hearing the name, will not become a closed life, will become an open possibility, because constantly, every time his name is uttered, something touches him very deep down inside. Not just a way of calling a person, but a way of opening a person just by uttering the name. The naming of a child today has become the whim of the parents, according to the fashion of the times. But till recently, the naming of a child was not in the hands of the parents. Always it was somebody else who knows little better, who decided what the child should be called. Because you are naming a person for social and practical reasons, but that's not all. because existence is just a complex amalgamation of reverberations. In this complex process of various types of vibrations, you also are one. If you just become just one more, you are like a grain of sand, nothing. In the vastness of this cosmic space, this little body is nothing. But if this hidden sound finds expression, then this is like a key to everything. This not only opens me, but it also opens the other, whatever I touch with this sound, because this is my sacred key. So, every child, when he's born, the parents were given the freedom to give them some pet name for their emotional satisfaction, but his real name was given by somebody else who is supposed to know better than the parents. Not always, but that's due to lack of education, that's due to discontinuance of culture. That is due to inefficient transmission from generation to generation. Otherwise, this is done by someone who knows what is the fundamental reverberation of this little child. So they wait for a certain period of time, they observe the child, they make other astrological calculations and arrive that this is the hidden sound of this child. And that is what we should bring out, because it is only in blossoming that, it is only in allowing that to flower and find expression, this child will find full expression to his life. Otherwise, a seed that never sprouted, on the surface many things happened, that's not it. And this is how even the deities are named. The other day someone told me, I sent word for them and they were not available anywhere. I said, where were you? This person said, Sadhguru, I was at DLT. I said, what, DLT? Where were you? No, I was at Dhyanalinga temple. Oh, DLT. So you go to DLT, it's one thing. I was in Dhyanalinga, that's a different thing. The deities are named like this. If you utter the sound Bhairavi, tears should come to you. If you say Dhyanalinga, stillness should come to you. If you say Sadhguru, a wave of ecstasy should pass through you. If you utter the sound with the necessary involvement, because sounds are not just nonsensical garbage. Sound is reverberation. If the reverberation is right, it gives you the needed access. So when the music is on, I want you to listen to the sound, not to the music. You understand what I'm saying? I want you to listen to the sound of it, not the music of it. If you want to have the pleasure of music, you can listen to music. If you want to find deeper access to life, you must listen to the reverberations, not to the lilt. Lilt is surface. Lilt is a small thing, beautiful, but that's it. The reverberations are the very making of life. How this one reverberates right now, it'll determine everything about this one. If this reverberates right, it will not only determine the nature of this one's life, it will determine the nature of everything's life. It will not only determine the nature of the individual, it will also determine how everything else happens around that being. So when the music is on in the darshan, I want you to behold the sound, not the music.
Chandrasekhara, 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 Rakshana, Ratnashanusarasanam, Rajatadrishringaniketanam, Sinjini-krita-pannageshwara, Achyutananasayakam.
Today, modern science is slowly veering towards that. They believed some time ago the electromagnetic forces and the nuclear forces and gravity are everything. Now as they dug deeper, 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 do you know there is no explanation for gravity in modern science even today? Isaac Newton only told you apple falls down, which every village boy knew. Unfortunately, it falls down, not up. He gave no explanation, no mathematical background to it. Simply he said it falls down, nothing else. And since then, they have been trying to find out. They know at least enough about other forces. Gravity is one thing which has freaked some modern science. They're not able to find out why gravity works the way it works. So today, one explanation they're talking about is, they believed at one time it's the gravity of the sun which is holding all the planets together, it is the gravity of something else holding all the galaxies together. Now they're saying that there is some dark force all over the place. Due to lack of description, because they can't make out any quality of that, they're calling it a dark force. And it is this dark force which seems to be keeping everything in place. They do not know what is the nature of this force. It is called as dark energy or dark force. This dark energy, we always call Shiva as the dark one. Yes? He's always referred to as the dark one. His night is the darkest night in the month. So, modern scientists, in their own language, they're saying Shiva is holding everything together. Now, I don't want you to imagine one man sitting there and holding everything together. That's not what it is. Shiva means that which is not. So that which is not is held as the highest, because that which is not is the largest manifestation in creation, isn't it so? If you look up in the sky, do you ever do it? Do you ever do it? Okay. I believe you, all right. So if you look up in the sky, because your visual apparatus are made in a certain way, you will think the sky is full of stars. That's not the reality. The largest thing out there is empty darkness, isn't it? The galaxies that you see there are just small specks. Rest, the vast expanse is nothing, isn't it? So that is what we are referring to as Shiva. But there are many aspects to this. This is because we are a dialectical culture, because we know existence is seamless. You think there is a boundary line between solar system and the rest of the galaxy? No. Between one galaxy and another galaxy, there is a boundary line, LOC. There is no such thing. It is just a seamless existence. So, We are a dialectical culture where it is seamless. So I will be talking about Shiva. When I say Shiva, you have to make out which Shiva am I talking about. I say Shiva referring to the boundless nothing. I say Shiva and I refer to the Adiyogi. I say Shiva and I'm talking about a laborer who's walking on the street right now whose name is Shiva. All these things we do at the same time. And this is the reason. If we look up at the boundless nothingness, we do the same thing. If we look at the Adiyogi, we will do the same thing. If the laborer Shiva is walking around here, he may be illiterate, he may be so many things, or maybe nothing, then also we do the same thing. Because we know without the dark energy that you're referring to, without Shiva holding it, even this body will not have its integrity, it'll all burst out. So, when I look at you, I do the same thing. See, this is the only way. I want you to understand, this is the only place where such a thing is there. You're doing it unconsciously, so it's meaningless. What you do to your gods, you're doing to everybody, isn't it? The idea is, this person may not know what is the source of his making, but I want to recognize that. He may not know that the creator is throbbing within himself, but it is my prerogative to see it. If I see it, it makes a difference for me. If he sees it, it will do wonders for him, but now I want to see it. So what you do to your God, the same thing you do to your neighbor, the same thing you do to your servant, the same thing you do to a cow or an elephant or a stone or whatever. Because you don't want to miss an opportunity. You want to make an effort wherever you are to see that the source of creation is constantly throbbing in every piece of creation and nobody can deny it, isn't it? Even modern science cannot deny it, that whatever is the source of creation is also functioning in a tiny little invisible atom, isn't it so?
When we say Shiva, if you look at his life process, he went through everything that any human being would go through. He is many things at the same time. He is the most beautiful, he is the ugliest, he is a great ascetic, he is a family person, he is the most disciplined, he is a drunkard, he is a dancer, he is absolutely still. Gods worship him, demons worship him, all kinds of creatures in the world worship him. Whatever we say about Shiva, you must understand, the very opposite is also the truth. He is the Bhairava, the most fearsome, one who is of quick temper and immense violence. He is also the most compassionate. He is the Sundaramurti, the seducer, a gallant lover and a compassionate, handsome and romantic being. He is also the Tandava Murti, one whose dance would destroy the very process of creation. At the same time, he is Achaleshwara, absolute stillness, one who does not know any moment. Shiva is a yogi who should not be named. To name is to limit and curtail. At the same time, the many names of his, the sum total of all these names is an absolute representation of the whole universe, all its complexities, a representation of all the unfathomable mysteries of the existence. If you can accept this man, who is a complex formation of every quality that you can find on this planet, if you can accept him, you have crossed life itself.
The whole idea is to destroy your logical mind so that you open up to a different dimension of life altogether.
The universe is a vast and mysterious place full of phenomena that challenge our understanding of physics and cosmology. Among these are dark matter and dark energy, two of the most perplexing and significant components of the cosmos. Despite their names, these entities are not related to the dark side in any cultural sense, but rather they are dark because they do not emit, absorb, or reflect light, making them invisible and detectable only through their gravitational effects and influence on the expansion of the universe. Dark matter. Dark matter constitutes about 27% of the universe's mass energy content. It was first proposed in the 1930s by Swiss astronomer Fritz Zwicky, who observed that galaxies in the Coma cluster were moving faster than could be explained by the visible matter alone. He hypothesized that there must be some unseen mass providing the necessary gravitational pull. Later in the 1970s, Vera Rubin's study of the rotational curves of galaxies provided further evidence. She found that stars in galaxies were orbiting at speeds that did not decrease with distance from the galactic center, as would be expected if only visible matter were present. Instead, the rotational speed remained constant, suggesting the presence of a substantial amount of unseen matter. Dark matter does not interact with electromagnetic forces, which means it doesn't emit, absorb, or reflect light, making it invisible and detectable only through its gravitational effects. Several candidates for dark matter have been proposed, including WIMPs, weakly interactive massive particles. These hypothetical particles are among the most favored candidates. They are predicted to have a large mass and interact very weakly with normal matter, making them difficult to detect. Axions. These are very light hypothetical particles that might interact with photons under certain conditions. MACHO, massive compact halo objects. These include black holes, neutrons, stars, and brown dwarfs, which are composed of normal baryonic matter but are not luminous. Detection efforts include direct detection experiments which aim to observe dark matter particles interacting with normal matter, and indirect detection which seeks to observe byproducts of dark matter interactions or annihilations. So far, despite extensive efforts, dark matter has remained elusive. Dark energy. Dark energy, on the other hand, is even more mysterious and constitutes about 68% of the universe's mass energy content. Its existence was inferred from the observation of the accelerated expansion of the universe. This surprising discovery was made in 1998 by two independent teams studying Type 1a supernovae. They found that these supernovae were dimmer than expected, indicating that the universe's expansion was accelerating rather than slowing down under gravity's influence. Dark energy is thought to be a property of space itself. The leading explanation for dark energy is the cosmological constant, first introduced by Albert Einstein in his equations of general relativity. The cosmological constant represents a constant energy density filling space homogeneously. However, the exact nature of dark energy is one of the biggest unsolved problems in physics. Some hypotheses include quintessence. This theory suggests the dark energy is a dynamic field that changes over time, unlike the cosmological constant, which is static. Phantom energy. This is a hypothetical form of dark energy that grows stronger over time, potentially leading to a big rip scenario where the universe's expansion accelerates so much that it tears apart galaxies, stars, planets, and eventually atomic nuclei. Modified gravity theories. These propose alterations to general relativity to account for the observed acceleration without invoking dark energy as a separate entity. Interplay between dark matter and dark energy. Dark matter and dark energy are distinct but have crucial roles in shaping the universe. Dark matter's gravitational effects are essential for the formation of galaxies and larger structures. Without dark matter, the universe's structure would be vastly different and galaxies might not have formed at all. Its presence in the early universe facilitated the clumping of normal matter, leading to the formation of the first stars and galaxies. Dark energy conversely affects the large-scale structure of the universe by driving its accelerated expansion. This expansion influences the fate of the universe. If dark energy remains constant, as in the cosmological constant model, the universe will continue to expand forever at an accelerating rate, leading to a cold, dilute future where galaxies drift apart. If dark energy changes over time, it could lead to different scenarios such as the Big Rip or a potential future contraction of the universe. Challenges and future prospects. Understanding dark matter and dark energy remains one of the foremost challenges in cosmology and particle physics. Advances in technology and methodology provide hope for future discoveries. Projects like the Large Synoptic Survey Telescope (LSST), the European Space Agency's Elucid mission, and the James Webb Space Telescope JWST, aim to shed light on these dark components. Furthermore, experiments at particle colliders like the Large Hadron Collider (LHC) continue to search for signs of dark matter particles. Advances in quantum theory and high energy physics could provide insights into the nature of dark energy. Conclusion: dark matter and dark energy are fundamental to our understanding of the universe, yet they remain profoundly mysterious. Together, they constitute about 95% of the universe's total mass energy content, influencing its structure, evolution, and ultimate fate. While dark matter acts as the scaffold on which galaxies and large-scale structures are built, dark energy drives the accelerating expansion of the universe. The quest to understand these dark components involves cutting-edge science and technology, promising to unveil deeper insights into the cosmos and the fundamental laws that govern it.